You're gonna love them. It's gonna be mixed use.
I know.
It's gonna have some workforce
Housing.
affordable housing. It's gonna have some jobs. Hotel room, gonna be mixed use.
I know.
It's gonna have some.
Oh, we're live. Yeah.
Workforce.
Oh, we're live. Oh, no, 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 no. There we go. My first time.
Okay,
We're figuring it out.
we'll get there. We'll get to the 20th century eventually.
Technology, gotta love it.
I didn't even realize that was on the agenda, so thank you for on the agenda for council,
What's that?
the 12 stories.
Yeah, they had the first reading the other night,
I should have realized, I think.
Where is that supposed to be?
5-2.
Where's the building gonna be?
It's gonna have apartments and a hotel and offices. That's what they say. I don't know if it has the same affordable housing rules. Do for some of the affordable housing for people, because it doesn't take a whole lot to change that so that they don't have to have them after it's occupied.
Granted.
And then they tear out that one wall, that little apartment, add it to that big apartment, get more money.
I don't even know if they do that much, but
Oh, yeah.
Alex, you didn't. It's 4, but we don't have a quorum yet, right?
Here we do. We have 4. No, we have 3.
No, we have 2
Yes, Amy, Michelle.
or we need 1 more for quorum.
Are we still waiting to see?
Yeah.
See where I'm over here. So,
Or not right,
I wanted to add something to it. It's like,
Just like.
you summed it up well, but I didn't know how much more to add to it. Or
Imagine if I were doing that.
To me,
I mean, it was
it's tough because
I had to have it organized.
in my heart, I don't believe the city does a hell of a lot for it. That rec department's trying to do with pools. Wes is shot down. You do that.
Amy and Michelle, can y'all hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. We're waiting for, I don't know if you know, if you could hear closely enough that we're waiting for 1 more commission member to come so that we can have quorum.
Oh, got you. Okay.
That's why we're kind of in a holding pattern for a minute here.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
just text him over here to see if she can join.
What, did she answer?
She hasn't responded.
Okay. We haven't seen Trey since November either. So one of the things I sent out, and this is not on our agenda, so it's just for y'all's information, we can chat about it at the moment. One of the things I sent out was the appointments and the expirations. And so if people would like to reapply for membership, that they can reapply. But I heard today from the clerk's office that the application process seems to be changing. So the reappointments for the commission should be active in March, and I hope that the reapplications will be done by then. Does that make sense?
When did you send it out?
That's last week's message.
The first part of this week, I think. You didn't get it?
I'll have to find it. I didn't. I may have not opened the attachment, I'm not sure.
There were a lot of
Probably
attachments there. I sent a lot of attachments.
Sent it Tuesday.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll find it.
Okay, we're
We're up.
up, yeah. Gotta go.
Okay, call the meeting to order. First off, we'll let you do the introduction.
Oh, I'm very pleased to introduce May Lee Caldwell, who is from the clerk's office. Y'all, she was at our December meeting. She was responsible for our December minutes that you've all received a copy of, I hope. And apparently the minutes are supposed to be that way and not brief like mine were. So May Lee will be keeping us honest. And she, at the moment, because of some confusion within the city, we don't have all the systems up perfectly like we hope they will be. But if you need to reach May Lee separately, you can send it to me and I will forward something to her until she gets on the website.
We
Okay,
have
thank you.
no one for public comments, I don't think.
No.
No. That's why I skipped over it.
Mhm.
Okay, so next we should have approval of the minutes. Everybody should have a copy of them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. Does anyone have any corrections to the minute? Does anyone want to vote to approve the minutes?
I vote to approve.
Thank you, Alex. Do we have a second?
This is
Second.
Maria. I'll second.
All right, thank you. So the minutes are approved. And I guess for the record, I asked Janet to check to see that if there's a way that we can send minutes to the city council members after they get approved to make sure that they're hearing our input. So next we have the discussion on the methods and questions for citizen survey. And Janet,
Can you
that is
share?
up to you to put up.
Can you-
I should have bought my
There, oh, it's in the, oh, please. They're over here in that, should be in. I can't see, there you go, okay. That's it. So this is the survey, can everybody hear me okay?
computer. Big board.
Yes, I hear you just fine.
Okay, good.
On carpet.
For our survey, we're looking for, the first question is ranking the importance of public spaces, sidewalks, green spaces, parking lots or garages, and facilities such as benches and lighting.
I personally think that's a good question because we have a problem with the parking garages. The city garages are free for handicap. The non-city garages are expensive,
Right.
and most of the time you don't know till you try to leave. So I would like to see that somehow put on all of the garages, whether it's city or private.
Okay, next question is on a scale of 1 to 5, rate each of these for accessibility. And it starts with areas of business like the Avondale Business District, Bees Ferry Road, Broad Street, Calhoun Street, Citadel Mall, College of Charleston. Is that sort of like you thought it would be?
Can you go back up to the categories again? right there. I think that looks pretty good.
Then it's pretty good.
Okay,
And I like the fact that we have a, I don't know, or I don't use it, or,
yeah, I like that too. Great.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because even I don't even know like where all of those areas are per se. Like the Avondale, I have no idea.
That's absolutely fair enough. So that's why I don't know would be
Yep,
your choice.
yep, that's a good one.
Ron, we were gonna mention, before we speak, we're gonna mention who our,
Oh,
what our
we can do
names
that.
are.
yes, before we speak, we're gonna mention who our names are, so we know who's talking. And also, but I think you guys have already done it, is, mute yourself when you're not speaking. And if you don't mute yourself, we're gonna mute you. Not because we don't like you, but because a lot of times we all forget to either mute or unmute. Next slide.
Okay, this is Janet. We're gonna go down to question 3. Question 3 is, do you use the parks? Okay, question 4 is, which parks are good? And question 5 is, which parks are bad? Does that suit you?
It is, this is Alex. Can
Yeah.
you say for question 5, which parks aren't as accessible, or I don't want to use the word bad.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
okay, good point.
That's what I was gonna say. This is Michelle, because just to say good or bad, it needs to be more specific. So just accessible for persons that are disabled or, just, yeah.
Wonderful. Got it. Number 6, as we work to improve, what locations do you think should be studied as good examples? And then number 7 is, what's a bad example of accessibility? I kind of think that needs to say is bad, y'all, remain as bad. You don't?
Or,
I was thinking poor.
Poor, there you go. Okay, the number 8,
did we even do 6 and 7? I don't think, Janet,
we didn't?
did we?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
where
we
I was
did.
told
Never
poor.
mind. Sorry.
Okay, number 8 is just another ranking, a prioritizing of things. When the commission was originally, this is Janet speaking still, when the commission was originally instigated around the year 2002 or 3, I'm not quite sure which, we decided that things that were important at that time were to first look at areas that were requested by people with disabilities. That was to be the first thing we looked at changing. The second was to be areas that were on public transit routes. Third were to be areas that were tourism, and fourth were to be others. So now we're looking to clarify that just a little bit more as we go, this next 20 years. Do y'all have any suggestions about, does that suit you okay?
This is Ron. I think the list is pretty good. Hopefully people will understand that when you press the up arrow, it goes up and
I know.
all of that, but I've seen many surveys like that, so.
I have to.
This is Alex. I had one suggestion for the use. Could you say frequency of use, just to give it a little bit more context of how often someone is, if that makes sense?
Can you
Someone
please
is-
repeat the question?
This is Alex. I was offering
No,
a
no,
suggestion.
not you, Alex. I got what you were saying, sweetie. I meant the original number 8 question itself.
Sure. In prioritizing, this is Janet, in prioritizing public spaces for accessibility improvements, we'd
Mhm.
like your feedback in a ranking version. So we'd like you to rank what's more important. And the following criteria that's important. The use is the top issue at the moment, and then close to transit stops, then close to public parks, then close to schools and libraries, then close to grocery stores, and then the final one is underserved communities.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Janet, this is Ron.
Yes.
On the underserved communities, do we maybe want to leave a space for them to write where they're talking about this underserved?
Could we put a line after it, like 8A? If you what community do you consider underserved? Okay.
I'm sorry, being that I can't see it, what's the ranking? Is it like 1 to 10 or 1 to 5? 5 being better, 5 being worse, 1 being better? I mean, what's the ranking system?
The ranking system is arrows. So whatever you think is most important, you toggle it to the top. And what you think the second most important, you toggle it to the second from the top.
Mm.
Should we use that method?
I'm just thinking about those that, oh, go ahead.
I don't know if it would be helpful, this is Alex, to have maybe right after the question to say toggle your answers or something to that effect.
Got it.
Right. To make it, to help to make it more, to make it clearer.
Use the arrows to order your whatever.
Got it. Thank you. Question number 9. 9 is, considering the additional criteria you ranked in the previous question, what are some of the public spaces in the city of Charleston that you find challenging to navigate and that should be given the most immediate attention?
That's a good question.
Good. It has a fill in the blank. Number 10, tell us what features you think make a parking facility, a surface lot, on-street, or garage accessible to all. It's also a fill in the blank. Still Janet, number 11, what types of assistive technology or equipment do you use? And then you can check all that you use from the list of wheelchair, scooter, mobility, cane, crutches, AFOs, hearing aids, walker, supplemental breathing assistance, service animal, or other, please specify.
Good list. Good list.
Yeah, I would be checking off 3 of them.
That'd be
Yeah.
3, 4, 5.
And number 12 is,
What happens if you get old?
12 is, do you have a plan in place for disaster evacuation? Yes or no? 13, would you like help creating a disaster evacuation plan? Yes or no? 14, is there anything else that is important to you that we didn't ask? Fill in the blank. 15, which of the following categories best describes your employment status? And that's pretty standard, everything from employed full-time to retired, all the way to prefer not to answer.
No, disabled, not.
Disabled, not able to work.
I have a question. This is Alex again for the question about disaster plan. Would you like help creating a disaster evacuation plan? If they say yes, would we be contacting them or?
I believe so. I believe at the bottom that there's the opportunity to identify themselves.
Then
That was number 13.
Ron again, then you probably need to put in parentheses in 13,
Mhm.
give us your email address or whatever.
So can y'all hear me okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so another option I'm thinking, because it very well could be someone that wants to remain anonymous. Maybe we should to put the information on who they would contact to get that information. Because I don't want it to limit their opinions, you know, which sometimes it can.
That's a good point.
Mhm.
Then how do we find them to help with creating a disaster evacuation plan?
So that's
I
what
would-
we're doing. We're giving them the information to contact us. Do you know how? Do you know who to contact to help you create an evacuation plan? So you can let them know they can contact this person, or if they want to leave their contact information, we would contact them directly. So I think
Okay.
just giving that option, to be helpful.
Thank you. Got it, Maria.
Sure.
Okay, then number 16 is anyone in the household now on full-time active duty status? Yes or no, or previously served too, it comes in there. 17 is what is your 5-digit zip code? And 18, if you'd like to be involved in the Mayor's Commission on Disability Issues, please give us a good contact phone number or email here.
This is Ron. I have a question.
Okay.
Well, I am a veteran. I don't understand the active duty question. Why we have that?
I think that was directly in regard to a VA crossover. I don't know exactly why.
Okay.
I don't know why the person who created the questionnaire she retired in December. So I'm not gonna be able to get that answer for you. But I think that's what I remember her saying. She said that.
Yeah, that way you could use involve the VA if you have to.
I think it was involved the VA.
Yeah.
If you think we should leave that question out, we can leave it out.
This is Alex. I was wondering would that data provide us other than knowing that they're,
I don't know.
I didn't know if that would help in a way for if you're a veteran and you need help with disaster planning, would that give a connection at all?
That may be it, and I don't know.
Yeah, this is Ron. I honestly don't see where it serves a purpose. Because if they're a veteran, they should already have gotten in touch with the VA if they have an issue. I don't know, just, if you're gonna add that in there, to me, you need to add former firefighters, police officers, whatever.
When Tracy
This
created
is
this.
Michelle. Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Michelle.
Oh, no, ma'am. I was just going to say, if they're not going to receive any particular type of different service than any other people with disabilities, then I don't, see where it's necessary. The question that is, if we're not going to provide them, something different, it doesn't seem that it's necessary.
I think your point's good. I will check with, this is Janet, I'll check with the originator, and it may be there was some, I don't know what, I don't really just don't know. So I'll check and we may just scratch that. And this is Janet still. So my understanding from what the commission said before is that there was going to be some written letter to the editor using Harriet's information combined with or an adjunct to perhaps some media work. And both of those would be to promote the survey. Is that still what everybody thinks is the optimal plan?
this is Ron. I think if Channel 2 called us up tomorrow or any other channel and said, hey, we want to do something Tuesday, I would not say, oh, no, wait, we want to finish this study. I honestly think that if in fact we can't get on local media, then we wait till, and when the study's done, if we do get on, then we say, and oh, by the way, here's the study.
Okay.
And the same with Harriet's letter. Is it either the beginning or the end? Actually, it doesn't matter, but it would either be at the beginning or the end, I would think, that says, oh, by the way, go to this website to complete this survey. Or we'd like you to, or whatever.
This is Alex. I see it both ways. I want to be able to use the data that we have to be a good media story. But at the same time, I know we want the media to help us get the survey out there. So, I mean, we could do both, probably. I don't know if it's easier to, I'm thinking it might be a little bit more meaningful if we push the story out through media. They don't necessarily need to cover it as a full story now, but just say, hey, the commission has a survey. The news can just say, go complete the survey if you're interested. And then once we have the results, we can do a quote press conference to let them know what the results are that way. So you can still use the media impact from both sides of it. Wanted to get everyone else's thoughts on that.
It's Ron. I mean, that's an excellent point. You're right. It's kind of a,
Chicken or egg?
yeah, chicken or egg or a double-edged sword, take your pick.
Chickens and eggs are softer.
But if you put the survey out there and we only get 100 people doing the survey, you know, that's not a lot of data to give out. I don't want to sit there and say, oh yeah, we did a survey. We got 100 people that responded.
And that was my next question. This is Alex. For how long do you want the survey to go out? And are we looking to, when we get to a certain number, that's going to be good enough? Or what do you all think?
I am open to input from every commissioner on that. This is Janet. And the reason I'm open to y'all's input, I think Michelle has some experience with this. I know Maria and Alex do. I have no experience with this whatsoever. I don't think it should be open-ended. I think it should be a finite measure, whether it's date or number.
Okay.
This is surveys we do, the ALS Association. We put out 2 a year and we run them typically for 45 days.
Maria, did you have something?
I like the closed end as well too.
I think this is Michelle, if we do, give it a particular date that lets the person definitely know. If we leave it open, they take forever to get those things completed.
True.
Yeah.
And if we're trying to get this done and get these numbers and, doing what we're wanting to do, we need to, get those surveys back in.
Like the 45-day number. So that way it gives people enough time, but not too much time to have to get it done.
Good. I will
This is
take,
Michelle. I think that's good time.
sorry.
Oh, I was saying, this is Michelle. I agree.
She agrees with 45 days.
She agrees.
Okay. This is Janet. So I will take back the edits that y'all have just given me and get that ready to roll with next week.
One more question.
Yes.
I know on the city's website, to go on there, you have to put not your serial number, your email on there. Tell me your serial number anymore. Is there any way that we can get the city to send out an email to people and say, we've made this survey, please do it.
The city currently has a very active, this is Janet, a very active neighborhood organization. And that's how we do it. We go through the neighborhood organizations. That it's very widely received right now.
Okay,
So I'm very pleased about that. But I also would like the ALS Association to share it if they would. I would like FIGS to share it if they would. And I'll ask Abel in Columbia to share it. So we'll hit a couple of big groups. The NFB, Michelle, will the NFB be happy to share that for us, or what do you think? And Amy?
Well, I can do, yeah, the local chapter.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am. I can definitely, yeah, bring that up in our monthly meeting and let them know and definitely make sure they have it. Yes, ma'am.
wonderful. Then I think we have a starting place. It's very exciting. And I'll get, if I have any other questions, I may send you all, this is Janet still, I may send you all an email with a question like, I have no idea what the survey creator may ask me, but I may ask you all to answer that by email rather than
wait for another.
delaying any longer. Yeah,
Yes, I would suggest that if Janet has to make changes, that we can approve them through email. We don't have to wait until our next meeting. I don't know, do we need a vote on that?
I think this is Michelle. I don't know if that's one for me or not, but I think doing it by email will be a simpler way.
agreed.
Should we make the motion and vote on it?
Yes, let's, in the interest of covering all our bases.
I don't know otherwise. Go ahead.
Yeah. Alice, can you make a motion?
Yes. I make a motion that in the event that we need to make any additional changes to the survey questions, that we will approve those and vote on them via email before the next meeting. Do I have a second?
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. I'll be third. All in favor, say aye. Your opposed, say nay. Aye.
Maybe overkill, but we've got it.
Now we got the city clerk here.
And don't you forget it, she's the new sheriff in town.
All right, let's see.
I got someplace else to be.
I'm coming. My shoes somehow been disarrayed.
We can hear you, Michelle.
I apologize.
That's okay. Just didn't want you to say anything else that you might not want us to hear.
They've done that too. Falling asleep at a Zoom.
Okay. Do you want to report from me now?
Let's see. Yeah, I think, unless anybody else has anything on the survey, we'll move on to the next agenda item, which would be the report from Janet.
And this is Janet speaking. I have asked my director to see if the mayor would like to join us for a meeting or appoint a council member, and either the mayor or his representative will join us probably in February, barring any, Lord knows, disaster of any sort, but that's the plan at the moment. We talked last time, Vonnie asked about commission members expiring. And so that's why I sent that to you all, that document showing what expires when. I hope that everyone who's currently on the commission will, if they did expire or are expiring in March, that they will re-sign up for reappointment if possible. And I will get you that sign up link. It's currently being moved from the mayor's office to the clerk's office as we speak. So I'll have to send that to you. but that will get us set for the next year of commission meetings. I also thought that the commission might like to hear what I do besides commission things. And so additionally, I thought I'd let you know that I review for the technical review committee, which is every building built on a site within the city that's over 500 square feet, that I review all of those buildings for ADA compliance. All those buildings, all those facilities, all the things. I review them every Thursday morning is a meeting. We usually have about an average of 12 items on the list. So the 12-story hotel that we were talking about earlier is something I have reviewed. And there's included in all of them now is an ADA page where they have to show me little dots how they come in and little dots how they go out. And they have to put things on there about signage and things like that. I also work with the design review committee, which is more an aesthetic situation, but frequently we well know as people with disabilities that our routes and things are obliterated because they're not pretty. So sitting on the design review, I end up affecting the aesthetic choices of the city and surroundings, and I work on things like that. At the end of December, I did a presentation to communication people within the city about effective communication, which includes ADA symbols and font heights, when to use Braille, when to advertise for ASL, effective communication, those things. I made a presentation for that in December. And then since then, I've just been catching up with bad people who don't put in sidewalks properly. So those are just some of the things that I do. Today, I did some research about Piccolo Spoleto venues to make sure all of those are accessible. So those are just some of the things that I do besides being on the commission. If you ever have questions about what I do or concerns about something within the city, that's why I like you to let me know, because I would like to be able to fix it, except for some things I'll never fix. So, but we're working on it. We're working on all of them. I'm working on them anyway. And that's all that I have to report at the moment.
I do have one question. This is Ron. Is Middleton Place in the city?
No.
Their wheelchair accessibility is, there is none. They bring you in through the kitchen and the gate you go through is literally no wider than this chair.
Middleton Place is in the county, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll call it.
But keep in mind that the historic aspect, okay. The historic aspect of the ADA says that you cannot destroy historic material. Yeah. Provide for accessibility. And from my perspective, that just means you have to have a little more imagination.
I mean, if you can destroy the inside to build a kitchen, to have a restaurant.
Yeah, your point is good.
Okay,
Your point's very good. Other questions?
any other announcements?
Quick question. I noticed this afternoon, on my way here, did you help with anything with the Bees Ferry traffic signal, accessible crosswalk button?
At Bees Ferry and what?
61.
Huh?
In 61,
No, I haven't.
it looks like they moved the button around to make it more accessible.
I did tell them that. I just didn't do anything with it.
Because I noticed it today.
You told me previously
Yeah.
that, yeah.
And I noticed that, I don't know when they did it, but I just noticed it today, that it got moved.
Good.
That was really good.
Good. Well, I wish I could take credit. I can't. And I think I told them years ago.
I know I mentioned it some years ago, but then I mentioned it like a few months ago to
Okay.
you, and then I just noticed.
I didn't follow up after the first mention. In all honesty, sorry.
No, that's okay. But I just noticed that it's in a location now that I can reach, which is pretty cool. I haven't tried it yet, but I have to give it a test.
That's good. I fought long and hard with county over the crossings of Glen McConnell. Because Glen McConnell,
Doing all of that construction.
yeah, they're doing all that construction, they're putting in this great path, but they don't have accessible crossings at every break in the median. And the one that bothers me a lot is the one by Stur's Funeral Home. And maybe the one below it, and they wouldn't put any crossing at all, to which I said loud and often, when you don't put in a crossing for people with disabilities, they said it was protecting them. And I said it was condescending to them because everybody else can go. It's just the wheelchairs that can't. And they didn't appreciate it. The first one that I was worried about was the one up by the Goodwill, and there's no crossing there. And it bothered me a lot because there's a bus stop over there, but you can't cross the street to get to it. They would like you to go all the way down to the next street light, cross there, and come back up on the inside side, not even on, there's no sidewalk on that side of Bucieri Road. So I fought for a really long time and I went down fighting and I lost. I lost colossally. But there's notes all over that plan set that said, Janet's really mad at you. So those are some of the things that sometimes I win, sometimes I don't. But I fuss a lot. And I did get in one discussion with a very large group of people about 2 weeks ago, where somebody said to me, well, this person is a licensed professional and they're going to stamp the plans as, you know, reasonable. And I had to respectfully disagree. It's really very difficult to do in a room with a lot of people, and they have a lot more education than I do, and a lot more credentials behind their name than I do. But that one I won. So
Good job.
so it's an interesting time.
Yeah.
All the way around. So thank you. That's what I do for the city.
This is Ron, is, you know, as we build, you right around, there's, I don't know, 100 brand new apartment complexes that have been built in the last 5 years. There's a lot of bus stops, but there's a lot of places that it's difficult to get to the bus stop.
Yeah.
And on the survey, that's, to me, a great underserved area along with James Island.
I'm glad it'll be on the survey. Then we have a survey that you can hold and show to someone is a real thing.
Yes. Yes.
So that's good. The all the apartments that have been looked at in the past 15 years have notes on the front that of the plans that say they will meet all fair housing requirements. I can't always make, the ADA doesn't go inside, fair housing does, but they all say they will meet all fair housing requirements. And they asked me how to do it. I said, I don't know, I'm not a fair housing expert, but you have to meet it. So I just make them put a note. They love me. So
They do.
are there any announcements?
Do we have anything else?
I have a question. This is Alex again, or more of a comment, but didn't know if there were any plans for the city to do an event for the ADA anniversary in July. I'm trying to coordinate for my job, bringing in Miss Wheelchair America to speak for our work event. And if she can come in person, that would be great. And wanted to coordinate something with the city to celebrate the anniversary of ADA. So just wanted to throw that out there to see what those options might be.
The commission might sponsor it.
You know, we might be able to get the River Dogs to do something.
Maybe.
So yeah, I'm not sure if it would be more of like a speaking engagement where she can speak and bring the community out. I'm not quite sure how to,
Are you thinking of doing it like at the end of July?
like end of July, either on the anniversary itself, the 26th, or around that time. But I'm not sure what the exact intent exactly that would be or the intent for it.
Yeah.
Just throwing that idea out there.
Well, good. Let's get that some thought. The city
Yeah.
does not have any budget, of course, for that. However, we can rustle up some support. So, and we can maybe help provide a venue. Although you sound like you're gonna do it at work.
Well, I wanted it to be two separate events. So
Two separate events, okay.
So make it make it more impactful for her to travel down here. I didn't want her just to come for the work event, but coordinating with the city to do something else, just to celebrate, like if the city was doing anything for.
I can see if maybe the Gilliard, not the Gilliard, the Dock Street is something that I can usually.
Or Hampton Park or Riverbank Park.
That's true too.
But we would
Riverbank
have
Park
to-
worries me because it doesn't have a level landing on the ramp. The ramp's too long, it's not compliant. So,
So you're thinking like the commission would like sponsor,
yeah,
I don't know, we're celebrating the ADA, the anniversary of the ADA, come out and it could just be a sort of a, I don't know, get together, meeting, I don't know what to call it, but we can talk.
yeah, let's talk more about it. We do have to, potentially, if we do a park, we have to go through special events with an application and set aside the time and things like that, whether we need a power source in a park, whether she would speak without a power, I don't know. It's a lot of those little persnickety details. But let's start thinking about it. I can bake cookies. We can have cookies.
Or we could,
This is Amy.
Yeah, I mean,
You could possibly reach out to Disability Pride, Heart Inclusive, which is a nonprofit. They do a Disability Pride event in July for the ADA, and they have done 2 celebrations thus far. So you can maybe reach out to them. They may want to partner with you, Alex.
It's a great idea.
it's a great idea.
Cause I wanna invite like all the organizations in our community to come out and have a ADA Independence Day celebration or something to that effect. I don't, with food trucks maybe, or I don't know what the.
Yeah, that's the whole purpose of the Disability Pride. So if you need contact information, I know the individuals that are behind Disability Pride.
Okay. Thank you, Amy.
Yep.
Good idea, Amy. Thanks.
good plan.
Okay. Well, think a little more about, besides the speaking, what else we might want to do. Mark Johnson is now in South Carolina. We could rustle up some interest from the upstate from that perspective.
Are we
So,
allowed to ask companies to provide?
sponsorships, yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking from that perspective.
You know, you got for mobile, obviously, and drive and
Okay, we haven't done that for a while. We used to do it all the time.
Yeah.
So that's good. Let's work on that.
Sounds good.
Good announcement. Anything else, sir?
I don't think I have anything else. If nobody else has anything, we'll entertain them. Our next meeting is February 23rd at 4 p.m. Same time, same station. I'll entertain the mission to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
We're adjourned.
Thank you.
Don't need a second for adjournment.
Oh, we don't.
You don't?
No.
Some people.
Next one is give gifts the gifts in the 12 days of Christmas.